Guys, when the moment for intimacy arrives, you've got to be ready. Roman ready. Whether you've been in a relationship for years or you're just getting started, having the confidence that comes with preparation means that you're free to enjoy the moment when the moment comes. Even though you are far from ordinary, the truth is ED is really common. With Roman, you can get a free online evaluation and ongoing care for erectile dysfunction, all from the comfort and privacy of your home. A U.S. licensed healthcare professional will work with you to find the best treatment plan. If medication is appropriate, it ships to you free with 2-day shipping. The whole process is straightforward, convenient, and discreet. Getting started, just as simple. Go to GetRoman.com/Chael today. If you're prescribed, you're going to get $15 off your first month of ED treatment. Make sure you're ready. Roman ready. All right, guys, in the terms of things changing, what a massive timeline this has been. And I just mean this week. Now, I'll back you up and I'll take some credit because I brought to you guys, by credit, I think I mean responsibility. I brought to you guys that the UFC was looking to do Stipe versus Jones, and I even had a date of December 10th. If I'm wrong, it was December 11th. But they had this whole thing breaking down. I got that from Ariel. But I came and I repeated it to you because every time I do hear about Stipe versus Jones, I do have to go back to what Michael Bisping said going on 2 months now, that we don't need to do that fight after all. That fight is great and it's wonderful, but that fight is always going to be here. The round robin of Francis, Stipe, and Jones, that round robin is preserved. When we kick this little mini tournament off is the only thing that we're questioning. And if we're getting this far out towards December, this close back to the return of Francis, the contract dispute, the healing of the knee, let's just wait and do Jones versus Francis. Now, I didn't think Bisping was going to get his way. And quite frankly, when he said it, I thought it was a little weird. The timeline of when Bisping said this, which is over 2 months ago, it was a little weird because we were all getting hyped up. We thought that we knew. We told everybody, right? Ourselves. We all told ourselves it's going to be Stipe. It's going to be Jones. Is it going to be an interim championship or are we going to make this for the undisputed? That was the only question that we had. Now, as you get further down the line, report comes out today from Francis's coach. And very nice of him to share this information with us, right? We love to get information on this fight. But the coach said that Francis, and he talked about the healing, he talked about the knee and the work that he's going to the PI, that they're looking to fight at the beginning of 2023. Okay. Both of these things can't be true. And by no means am I saying that somebody's giving us bad info. I don't think that's the case. If we're listening to this and we're to break this down, they can't both be true. We can't have Stipe and Jones in December and have Francis versus either Stipe and Jones at the first part of 2023. Right? It's one of these things that this fight and the way that it's eluding us, and I do see guys that will say this often, yeah, I'm just going to fight him, I'm going to fight. We just saw this. This might be a great example. Charles Oliveira, I'm going to fight with Islam Makhachev. No problem. We're just going to go over and do it in Brazil. You go, wait a second, like that's a good idea, Charles Oliveira. That's a real, you and Islam, and I get the whole thing, and you're Brazilian, and you live there, and your people are going to say, I get the whole thing. I don't have a date. I don't have a venue. I don't have a production distribution partner lined up for Brazil right now. I could down the road, but I'm looking to contest you where I do have a date. I do have a venue. I do have a distribution partner. It's going to be in Abu Dhabi, and here's the date. I mean, it's one of those things where as simple and great as your idea is, nothing works this way. I mean, we've never seen it work this way. I prefer when people bring me an idea that they can historically show me somebody else was in the same situation. Here's how we handled it. Here's how it got handled then, and we feel that we're the new pieces to this exact same scenario, so we have reason to believe. What do you want to do? You, the audience, what do you want to do with Stipe and Jones? Because I either want to get this done on this December date, of which I can't recall was the 10th or 11th, or I'm ready to scrap it. That's where I'm at. I'm ready to scrap it with, of course, believing that we've got an ace up our sleeve that Francis is going to come back. Francis, who is the champion, who had a knee injury and has the right to get better. Oh, and by the way, who has not discussed Tyson Fury, boxing, or making up a game that him and Tyson are going to go and play in a period of time. They just haven't discussed that. As a matter of fact, Fury has gone in a massively different direction. So I'm thinking maybe things are getting worked out with Francis. And when Francis's coach did weigh in, he talked about where he's doing his physical therapy. He talked about who's overseeing the knee injury, which happens to be the UFC PI. I just thought that was a positive sign. Okay, the relationship and things there have never fully fallen apart and possibly are even mending. But with that ace up my sleeve of information, of which none of might be true, I'm taking a leap of faith here, believing that Francis is coming back. What do you want to do with Jones and Stipe? Do you want to find a date, maybe this December, get him out there and fight? It sure would be a good match. You can't count on whatever's going to happen with Francis at the first part of next year. Not when he can't. Not when he says, look, I don't really know where my knee's at and it's not quite enough time. Okay, it sounds like you need a little bit more time to think. But as the days go by, Bisping's suggestion does start to look better and better to me. And I do get more and more confused as to what the delay in Jones versus Stipe is, and moreover with the return of Francis, which makes me very happy. Whether the veins are coming out in my neck or not, if we preserve the round robin of Jones, Stipe, and Francis, if we preserve that, we've done a good job and we did the right thing. The other side of the coin is if they don't want to fight, why are we forcing them? They have set out X amount of time for whatever their reasons are, okay? How much money did they leave on the table? If the whole reason they're stepping aside has to do with money, how much money did you leave on the table? Because you just burned a year. Jones has now burned 2. Stipe has burned 1. I don't know what Stipe's reasons are. Francis has burned 1. I don't know what his reasons are. I know he can fight on that knee, so please don't always bring me. I know he can fight on the knee because he just fought on the knee. Right? They want to go talk to the PI and see how they're doing with the doctor. You want me to share how this works? You want me to show you how this really works without a medical degree, a DO, or an MD? How does your knee feel? Because whatever your answer is, that's how this actually works, just so you understand. I don't go look at a whole bunch of images and then I come and tell you. I look at a whole bunch of images and then I say to you as the DO, how's your knee feel? Based on what you say to me back is now what I'm going to come in and say to you. He says he went into that fight with the knee hurt already. Ciryl Gane put him in a leg lock, should have taken credit for putting him in the emergency room, didn't do it. He says he went into that fight with his leg, so I know that he can fight on that knee. So now you start to wonder how much time has gone by, how many fights were passed, how many sponsorships, how many arenas, how many opportunities were all said no to. And then when it all gets settled down, when the knee gets better and the comeback, and if it's Jon Jones, I ate enough protein, whatever it is, and you come back and you do the very fight that they asked you to do in 2 cases a year ago, and in Jon's case 2 years ago. And if you get out a calculator and you add that up, I'm not sure how you can decide that you are on the prevailing end of this thing. And these aren't my questions. This is somebody else's issue. But the information that we keep getting on these 3 guys that we keep preserving and we keep holding on to as a community, that they're in a little elitist club in a loft doing their own thing, and be damned if anybody else gets up there. Time is ticking. Tai Tuivasa is ranked number 4 in the world. Ciryl Gane is ranked number 1 in the world. They're going to fight in a fight that has championship rounds on the worldwide leader known as ESPN. These things matter. But if they don't speak up and make sure that this gets recognized and make sure that this gets known, they're going to continue to leave 3 guys who don't appear to be all that interested in our sport up in a loft with the ladder pulled up behind them, sitting in their little elitist club, killing time and holding on to the belts.